heart of Asia, only on WION.
Just hours to go for the 9th edition of the Heart of Asia Conference, which will take place in Tajikistan. The summit brings together Afghanistan's neighbors and other regional powers. The Indian External Affairs Minister has already reached the host city of Dushanbe. He met with the Iranian and Turkish foreign ministers and discussed bilateral cooperation. S. Jaishankar made his first visit to the Dushanbe-Chortot highway project site. He lauded the Border Roads Organization for the 8-lane highway. Meanwhile, Mehmood Qureshi, the foreign minister of Pakistan, has also touched down. Earlier, there was speculation that India and Pakistan will be meeting for bilateral talks. However, the Pakistan foreign minister has clarified that there is no meeting scheduled for now.
भारतीय हम मनसब से अभी तो मेरी कोई मुलाकात शेड्यूल्ड नहीं है वो तशरीफ ला रहे हैं और लाएंगे क्योंकि वो इस्तांबुल प्रोसेस का हिस्सा रही हैं पहले भी आते रहे हैं अब भी उनको दावत दी गई है लेकिन हमारी जो है दो तरफा मुलाकात कोई तय नहीं हुई।
The summit is aimed at stabilizing the situation in Afghanistan through cooperation with Kabul. The Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani will also be attending the summit. He will be awarded an honorary doctorate as well. The pertinent Taliban issue will, of course, be discussed to ensure peace and stability in Afghanistan, a permanent ceasefire, as well as a political settlement and international guarantee of peace. These three crucial questions will be the focus of the summit. The Ministerial Conference is part of the Istanbul Process, a regional initiative on security and cooperation for a stable and peaceful Afghanistan that was launched on the 2nd of November 2011 in Turkey. With us this minute is our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik, who's been tracking the very latest from On Ground Zero. Also with us is Lawrence Sellon, retired U.S. Army Colonel, live from Montana, United States. Coming to you first, Anas, a lot of expectations from these talks. Get us the latest.
Well, absolutely, Molly. Lots of expectations here. The stage is all set at in Dushanbe. The ministerial meet is to take place at Dacha, which is the presidential palace. The delegations have arrived as well. I've seen the Afghan president. He's also arrived. The Afghan foreign minister, the Indian foreign minister, Pakistani foreign minister, the Irani foreign minister, and a long list of other foreign ministers as well. 15 key regional member countries would be coming along in what is slated to be the biggest event amidst the pandemic. Since the pandemic began, and they would be talking about peace in Afghanistan. They would be conversing. There will be convergences as well. The event kicks off tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. local time here in Dushanbe. But the key focus would be the two elephants in the room. That would be India and Pakistan. Whether or not they would be meeting, they would be shaking hands or not. Because remember, this is the first time in 5 years that the two foreign ministers are coming together under the same roof. Previously, the two opportunities where we saw the Pakistani foreign minister and the Indian foreign minister where they could have been together, the Pakistani foreign minister boycotted that until the Indian foreign minister left under his rhetoric. So therefore, it would be very interesting to see whether there would be a handshake or not. There are growing speculations between the press, between diplomats as well, that there can be a possible pull aside. The Pakistani foreign minister a while ago, while speaking to the Pakistani press after his meeting with the Turkish foreign minister, has said that there is no meeting scheduled. He's not ruled out, or in fact he ducked that question where he said in case if there is a likelihood for a pull aside as well. He did not respond to that, however one can put it. But the stage is set, and all eyes would be on the outcomes of this meet that are to take place, that are to come out later in the evening tomorrow. Yes, Molly. Right.
Lawrence Sellon, if I can get you in on this aspect. The reason why there is a lot of expectation is that the talks would be setting the tone for the intra-Afghan dialogue that takes place next month in Istanbul between the Afghan Taliban and the Afghan government. The peace talks, though, so far have been taking place in the shadow of violence. Taliban attacks have continued. How optimistic are you that this dialogue will help pave the way for peace in Afghanistan?
Well, I think it's very difficult to say, and I think the Biden people, if they have a South Asian policy, and I'm not sure that they do, is focused on Afghanistan in the short term, and that is the withdrawal of American forces scheduled to be on May 1st, or will they be there longer? You know, I think this approach is reflected in two leaked documents that the Biden administration wrote and deals with how to speed up the negotiations between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Now, I think this approach, in my opinion, is either clueless or intentionally designed to fail. In them, the Biden people have asked the United Nations to convene a meeting with Afghanistan's principal neighbors, Pakistan, Iran, China, along with Russia, India, and the United States, in the hope of accelerating these talks. Now, the Biden people have also proposed shifting the principal site of the negotiations from Qatar to Turkey. Now, in my opinion, putting Turkey in charge of the negotiations is much the same as putting Pakistan in charge in the negotiations, and by extension, China. So the giant elephant in the room is China. And I think it is very likely that China could come out the big winner in all of this. China and Iran have just signed a massive 25-year bilateral trade and military cooperation agreement. So in essence, by not having a policy, the Biden people have handed China control over the future of Afghanistan, which we know will be sandwiched between two Chinese client states, Iran and Pakistan. And this will facilitate China's economic and military expansion into the northern Indian Ocean region. So I think there's real concern about the future of these negotiations, especially in regard to how China might benefit.
What is your view on the role that India can play in the Afghanistan peace process?
Well, I think India's role is essential. I think if we're going to stop Chinese hegemony in the Arabian Sea and in South Asia in general, the expansion, both economically and militarily, I think the United States has to work very closely with India, because India is, of course, the largest democracy in the world and is a key ally in the not only the Indian region, ocean region, but the Pacific region as well. So I think India has to be a part of these negotiations in the solution of Afghanistan, because obviously it's going to be affected by the outcome, especially in regard to whether China benefits or not.
Indeed. Lawrence Sellin and Anas Malik, thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast with those details and perspectives.